The connection is okay. Can you hear me? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special public teacher. I'm teacher Fabi Montanari, and I'm here every day to help you speak English without barriers. So if you want to communicate better in English, this is the place where you have to be. And this is part of the warm-up for Speak English Without Barriers event. It's a sequence of classes we are going to have next week. So if you want to join me, you just register in the link in bio or in the link in the description of this video here on YouTube. So again, I'm really happy to have you here. And I'd like to know if you can hear me really well, if the connection is okay, if the sound is okay, if everything is okay, so that we can go on and continue talking about this that scares many people. Many people come to me and say, teacher, I'm really scared. I'm really afraid of speaking English, okay? So if you are, or even if you aren't, it's important to listen because when we are learning English as a foreign language and as a second language, there are some steps we have to take, and there are some barriers we need to overcome, and we need to reach some milestones that will help you become more confident in your speaking. Right? I'd like to know if you can hear me, if I can continue in English, or if you prefer me to speak Portuguese. Of course, sometimes I speak Portuguese because I understand that it's important to have you, to make sure that you understand the message I'm bringing in this talks here, in this teacher's talks, in this Papo de Teacher. Ok? Então vamos lá. Só para situar todo mundo que chegou aqui agora, algumas pessoas estão chegando, vou falar um pouquinho em português. Only in English, Claude put here. I prefer in English too, but as I'm not sure about the level of everybody, so sometimes I'm going to balance. Esse Papo de Teacher hoje é especial, a gente vai falar sobre medo de falar inglês. Eu trabalho um pouco com inglês e português. As aulas são em inglês, as aulas do curso, né? Mas aqui nesse bate-papo, como eu não tenho certeza, eu não consigo saber o nível de todo mundo que está acompanhando, e eu quero que a mensagem chegue no maior número de pessoas, então eu vou acabar alternando um pouco em português, um pouco em inglês, só para ter certeza. As aulas da semana do Speak English Without Barriers começam segunda-feira. É importante que todos vocês estejam sintonizados, tá falando na mesma página. As aulas vão ser às 8 da noite, porque às 8 e não às 6h30. As lives eu faço às 6h30, mas eu sei que muita gente está em deslocamento ainda, voltando do trabalho, está ouvindo de algum lugar, não está conseguindo se concentrar ainda como uma aula. As aulas em si vão ser na segunda, quarta, quinta e domingo, no outro domingo, tá? Então, aqui ó, pausou a internet por conta de conexão. 1 second, people. Here, you're back. So the classes are going to start at 8 p.m. And I really need you to focus on what I want to bring to you. Okay. And during this week, I'm reading all the survey, the survey, a pesquisa that I sent to you. If you have registered to join me in the classes for Semana for English Without Barriers week, you have received a link with a survey. Você recebeu um link com uma pesquisa. And I'm reading all the answers and understanding what you need the most. And another thing that you put there is that, teacher, I feel that I don't speak English because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of speaking English. And first thing here, eu tenho medo é comumente traduzido ao pé da letra como I have fear. Já ouvi mais de uma vez, tá? Mas essa é uma das questões que eu sempre trago dentro do curso, do perigo da gente trabalhar com tradução direta, tá? Do perigo da gente trabalhar com tradução direta. Eu sou muito cautelosa com a recomendação de uso de tradução. Não trabalho com método de tradução direta, ainda que em alguns momentos a tradução ela ajude, mas em geral, quando a gente aprende fazendo tradução, tanto a questão da tradução direta, existem métodos que são apoiados nesse princípio, eu não gosto, num trabalho mais aprofundado. Justamente por isso, porque eu tenho medo, acaba virando I have fear. E no I have fear, I'm afraid, ok? I am afraid. Ter medo é to be afraid, ok? To be afraid. Hi, Natália! Monte Santo de Minas here. Very good. Let's see where you're from. Other people here, where you're joining from. So this is important to understand that translation, direct translation, can be a problem many times. It's more a problem than a solution. So sometimes I use translation. But it's like in very specific moments, okay? So when people come to me and say, teacher, I'm afraid of speaking English, there are many things that we need to analyze. Maybe it's really a trauma for something that happened in the past. And when we talk about traumas, like, you need to look for some therapy. But most of the times, as speaking as a teacher, okay, most of the times it's just lack of practice. Na maioria das vezes, quando o aluno fala que tem medo, talvez exista alguma situação que traumatizou o aluno e, de fato, é um trabalho, uma linha terapêutica que eu não atuo nessa linha, tá? Não é a minha área de especialidade. Mas, a grande maioria das vezes, quando o aluno fala que ele tem medo, é somente falta de prática direcionada. Porque muitas vezes você viu muito conteúdo, mas não conseguiu ainda assimilar para conseguir falar de uma maneira que você se sinta confiante. Então, isso acontece de uma maneira bastante comum. Por quê? No processo da gente falar inglês, da gente falar uma língua estrangeira, a gente precisa sempre entender que a gente vai ter um degrau geralmente inferior, ou bastante inferior, em relação ao nosso nível de domínio da nossa língua materna. Por mais óbvio que isso pareça, eu preciso falar isso. Porque algumas pessoas falam assim, teacher, eu já estou estudando inglês há X anos, eu não falo ainda como eu falo português. Você nunca vai falar. Porque não é a sua língua materna. A sua língua materna sempre você vai ter um domínio maior. E as pessoas que são alfabetizadas em duas línguas, que nascem num ambiente, né, às vezes pai e mãe de nacionalidades diferentes, é outra história, né? Mas a maioria de nós aqui brasileiros, a gente é monolíngue em termos de cultura, em termos de país, né, onde a gente vive. E a gente aprende inglês como segunda língua, ou como língua estrangeira. Como língua estrangeira, a gente vai ter algumas limitações. A gente vai falar um pouco mais devagar em relação ao que a gente fala em português. A gente vai ter algum domínio inferior de vocabulário. Porque pensa, se hoje você considera que você fala português muito bem, quantos livros você leu em português? De literatura, né, na escola, para que você chegasse no nível que você tem de português hoje. Eu estou falando que não é todo mundo também que tem um bom domínio de português, não. A gente tem visto muitas pessoas cada vez mais com a capacidade de comunicação até em português limitada. Então, essa capacidade de comunicação limitada acontece tanto para português quanto para inglês. Mas, claro, você tem uma boa capacidade de comunicação em português. A maioria dos meus alunos tem. Isso não é problema. Mas o quanto que você já dedicou, quantas horas você dedicou até você chegar nesse ponto de você ter esse domínio do português? O inglês é a mesma coisa. Mas, teacher, eu vou precisar dedicar todas essas 1000 horas que eu já dediquei ao português? Vamos um degrau por vez? Então, quando a gente... Lembra que eu falei ontem de estabelecer metas claras e realistas? Dentro da sua busca pela fluência do inglês e de superar o medo de falar inglês, vamos trabalhar nisso também? Can we? Shall we? So, hello, guys. Hello, Ms. Montanari. Good evening, Ms. Montanari. Good evening, Van. I think it's Van or one. So you have to think of speaking English as small steps. For example, what can you do remember that yesterday I told you to speak English, like to learn 5 words a day? What about you learn 5 words a day and you try to speak for 1 minute, counting on the clock, on the watch, trying to speak for 1 minute about your day. And then you go for another situation, trying to relate a situation for 2 minutes, talking to yourself. Nowadays, we have many devices. For example, you can open your Zoom and you can record yourself speaking English. So you can role play. Do you understand role play? To role play, simular. Você pode simular uma conversa em inglês. pelo Zoom. 1 minuto do seu dia. Conta 1 minuto como foi seu dia. Você consegue, quanto tempo você consegue falar inglês? Ou se, eventualmente, nesse momento, 1 minuto é muito, conta quanto você consegue falar. 30 segundos? Vamos trabalhar para melhorar isso? Vamos para 1 minuto? Speaking in English. And then you move on to like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. This is what you have to do. What I see is that, for example, you have this level of Portuguese, your English is here, but overnight you want to come here. And you want to have the same level of confidence in English as you have in Portuguese. And this won't happen. And who has seen my videos? Like, this is not the miracle department, but I can help you teach, speak English for sure. So this is not a miracle. There won't be a miracle for you to come from this level to this one, but you can go from this level to this one, this, until you have satisfaction in what you're studying. You understand? So this is important for you to consider from. What concerns you? Why are you afraid of speaking English? You are afraid of speaking English because maybe in the past, in the school times, we could not make mistakes. Maybe that I said, okay, I cannot make mistakes. But guess what? We make mistakes all the time, even in Portuguese. So I always say fluency over perfection. And one day better, today better than yesterday. Fluency over perfection. Put this in your mind, fluency over perfection. And what is fluency? Talking for 1 minute, nonstop. It's the beginning of your fluency. Or how much can you speak English? I remember many years ago when we didn't have all these resources here, like all this device, we didn't have access to the internet. I started studying English when I was a teenager. And I didn't have anybody at home to speak English to. Like my parents couldn't speak English. My parents, so we didn't have access to movies in English. So it was really difficult for me to have these moments of English, speaking English with outside my class of English. So I remember I used to think, like at the end of the day, okay, what did I do today? And I tried to think of my day speaking English, all the details. What did I do? I woke up, and then like in that time, I brushed my teeth, I went to school, and then I studied math, chemistry, history, Portuguese, wherever. I was a teenager. So I tried to think of my routine in English and how much and I used to role play, like in my bedroom studying. So if you were with me, if I had to tell you what I did, how would I, as I was going to talk to a friend, I used to do that. So 1 second, people. Is the connection better now? Paused due to poor connection. Is it better now, people? Reconnecting. 1 second. So this is something that you have to try, and you're going to get surprised when you realize, if you're counting on like you have you are, I forgot the word in English. It happens to everybody. But if you are like counting on the watch how many seconds or minutes you were able to speak English, I'm sure you're going to get surprised by how much time you can spend speaking English, more than you think. So when you consider this one at a time, things are going to, it's going to seem as a miracle, but it's not. It's only process. And it's just fluency over perfection. Okay, now answering some questions here that I have. Someone here called Investigue Somente. Infelizmente, trabalho nesse horário, 8 p.m. Our classes are going to be at 8 p.m. Vai ficar gravado for a short time, okay, for a short period of time. But the best part of being live with me is that I'm going to be live and you can have your questions answered at the time you are with me. Okay. And Vanessa said, Vanessa sound like a V. Okay, very good. And now here, Caroline asks, entendo tudo, porém tenho problemas com vocabulário. Como adquirir? How to improve your vocabulary. And this is what the course is about, okay? Having a direction to help improve your vocabulary. Increase your vocabulary basis. How do we become fluent in a foreign language? Having vocabulary and the use of English, the appropriate use of English and practice and direction. And all of that mixed. Imagine you're trying to bake a cake and you have the ingredients. So you have like two spoonfuls of flour, and then you have two spoonfuls of sugar and chocolate. So you need to have the ingredients mixed in the right proportion so that you have faster results. And this is what the course is about. I'm going to explain in more details for you next week, but this is what it is about, okay? I'm going to answer all these questions. You are going to see that in the classes, okay? So when we are saying that you need to investigate where this fear comes from, usually it comes from like past experiences, not like unsuccessful past experiences, together with lack of practice. This is one point. So how to overcome that? Gradual and intentional practice. 1 minute of speaking, 2 minutes of speaking, 3 minutes of speaking with yourself in front of the mirror or in front of camera. Open your Zoom, record yourself speaking. Do it. Learning a foreign language is not impossible, but we need to actively be part of our learning process. And why do I say that? Because this is not the miracle department, and this is a place for you to have all the support you need. I'm not here only to teach you grammar rules. I can teach you grammar rules. Most of us don't like grammar rules. You just want to speak English. I'm sure nobody wakes up in the morning early in the morning and said, okay, today I'm going to have I'm going to learn a new grammar rule. That's amazing. Teacher Fabi is going to teach me a new grammar rule and everything that I wanted in my life. I'm sure nobody does that. And this is not the way it works. But I'm sure everybody in the morning wants to have the best possibility of speaking English at the end of the day. Yeah? So this is, you have to be the main participant of your learning process. I cannot teach you if you don't want to learn. And for you to learn, learning is an active verb. It's an action verb. Learn. In fact, people say, action verbs are like jump, run. These are action verbs. Learn, for me, is an action verb too, because you need to act. You cannot be sitting like waiting for all the words and vocabulary to come to you. You need to go and get it. Okay. And from my side, what I do with my students is that you can be sure that I'm going to be here to support you in wherever you need. This is my part, and my teams, we work on that every day to help you overcome that. Okay. Of course, that when you have the right guidance, the right direction, the right practice, feedback, it's important. So if you have someone in your house, say, okay, I'm going to have an important presentation this week. Can I present to you and you can give me your feedback, like a friend or someone that is really close to you? Can you give me your feedback about this? Be honest. Okay. Role playing is another point here. And all of these will help you become fluent. What else? What else can you do? Can you join any conversation groups like communities as our students here in the group we have? And today I really need to be sharp to finish it before 7, because at 7 I'm going to the conversation classes with my students. And today we are going to talk about complaints. What is complaint? What is a complaint? A complaint is like, imagine you have a service and you need to complain. How do you do that? I'm going to have this class with the students like in a few minutes from now. So this is important to have this group conversation classes, okay? And together with what I told you yesterday about watching movies in English, having your Netflix and all your devices set up in English, it's important too. But as important as that is to control your anxiety. If you are too nervous, don't forget to breathe in and out. Breathe in, breathe out. You can have that, okay? This is going to help you. And of course, remember that I told you, set clear and realistic goals. And every time, for example, for this week, I'm going to learn 5 new words every day of this week. So by the end of the week, I will be able to speak 35 new words. And when you're having this moment of conversation to yourself in English, 1 minute or 2 minutes, try to use these words. This is very powerful. But it takes some time. You need to sit, be quiet, control your anxiety, breathe in, breathe out, and then do that. It's a process. Okay? I think I have covered everything here. I know I spoke too fast today, but I was really controlling the time because 7 p.m. I have to start the classes with my students from the conversation class. For the new students that are coming to this new group, you're going to have the chance to be with me in these live classes. So I have small groups of conversation, and students, I interact with the students. I provide them the feedbacks. Like, it's like a group learning process. It's really nice. Every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. It's really important for me to be here live with the students to help them communicate in English. Yeah? Questions, people? Have you all registered to participate in the next week? Are you all receiving my emails? Are you in the WhatsApp group? Have you answered the survey? If I go there and look for you, am I going to find it? Okay, it's really important for me to look at the surveys, because it indicates to me the way I have to go in my classes. What you're expecting. And I've been working hard this week to have everything done to help you in the classes next week, okay? So people, as I don't see any further questions here, I'm going to end this live now, but tomorrow we'll be back at 6:30. I really hope to see you here with me tomorrow. If you have any further questions, you just let me know. You can comment here in these videos, and I will answer. I will get back to you as soon as possible, okay? So that's it. It was a pleasure being here today with you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.